I'm talking and we're starting. Great.
Good afternoon. It is August 10th.
Yes, it is. It's my sister's birthday. She is 50 years old today.
I
just said that on the internet.
It's my sister's birthday as well.
Yeah?
She's 64.
Wow.
Wow. So we both have sisters who have birthdays today.
That's neat.
That's exciting. Are you going to call your sister and wish her a happy birthday?
You know, I called and I left a message on her phone because she didn't answer and said, I heard a rumor that there's somebody that has this number that is 50 years old. So
I will call my sister when I'm through with Facebook Live.
Yeah.
I have a couple of announcements to make, and I don't know if Klamath Falls has any. Just three. We have a United Methodist Women are doing a yard sale, but they're going to do it on a smaller scale. And check your email, your weekly update for the address. It's here in Medford, not difficult to find, very close to the Manor Retirement Center. Also, we have a administrative board meeting next Tuesday at 6:30. And it is here at the church. While we have always welcomed anyone to come to our board meetings, we are saying for this meeting, since we're only allowed to have 10 in the building or in a room at one time, to limit to the board, and we'll get the minutes of that meeting to the congregation. And finally, some great news is that we arrived this morning and Bovard was here, our stained glass windows restoration, and they're taking off the old coverings, and already as I look back into the sanctuary, you can see more light coming in to the building. So we're very excited about that, and we'll take some photos of the process and we'll put it on the church Facebook so you can see it. What do you got there, James?
Well, I don't have much in the way of announcements. We're still doing online worship. We're still doing our palm dinners on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights in Klamath Falls, and we're still doing this.
Palm dinner sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. So
can you help us to take a moment to center ourselves?
Sure, let's do that. So find yourself in a comfortable space in wherever you may be watching this stream, and if sit comfortably, close your eyes, and I invite you to extend your hands palm up as just a symbol of receiving from God, and take a deep breath in and hold it and breathe out. Breathe in the Spirit of God, the Spirit who is breath and life, and breathe out any anxiety, worry that you may be feeling in this moment. Breathe in. And exhale. And one more time, let's take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Spirit of God, we're grateful for your presence, for your life, for your love, and for the ways that you lead us into truth. Come guide our time today and the discussion we'll have on 2 John.
Amen.
Amen.
So 2 John is brief. It's only 13 verses.
Yeah, I noticed, because I'm doing 3 John next. It's 15 verses, so once again, you gave me the longer passage.
Well, I'm not complaining. So I'll read the book to you. There are a few passages, James, that I'm going to ask you to read from 1 John.
Okay.
When the time comes, and they're from 1 John 3.
Okay.
Verses within that, and then a passage from the book of Romans.
Okay.
But I'll begin by reading 2 John. The elder to the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not only I, but all who know the truth, because of the truth that abides in us and will be with us forever. Grace, mercy, and peace will be with us from God the Father and from Jesus Christ, the Father's Son, in truth and love. I was overjoyed to find some of your children walking in the truth, just as we have been commanded by the Father. But now, dear lady, I ask you, not as though I were writing you a new commandment, but one we have had from the beginning: let us love one another. And this is love, that we walk according to his commandments. This is the commandments, just as you have heard it from the beginning, you must walk in it. Many deceivers have gone into the world, and those who do not confess that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh, any such person is the deceiver and the Antichrist. Be on your guard so that you do not lose what we have worked for, but may receive a full reward. Everyone who does not abide in the teaching of Christ but goes beyond it, does not have God. Whoever abides in the teaching has both the Father and the Son. Do not receive into the house or welcome anyone who comes to you and does not bring the teaching. For us to welcome is to participate in the evil deeds of such a person. For to welcome is to participate in the evil deeds of such a person. Although I have much to write to you, I would rather not use paper and ink. Instead, I hope to come to you and talk with you face to face, so that our joy may be complete. The children of your elect sister send you their greetings. So we have this brief letter. I think it might throw people off, the address to the lady, but let's take the word elder first. You know, really, the elder is just an older person, and then it became designated as like a superintendent.
Yeah.
We actually have those in the Methodist structure, or bishop. But at this point, those terms were kind of used loosely. You didn't have denominations and a real defined hierarchy. But the elder is just a kind of a certified teacher, I would say.
Well, I mean, you're an elder.
I'm an elder. I'm an elder in the Methodist Church,
Yeah,
right?
so.
But I was an elder at a young age, and now I'm an older elder. So I'm an elder.
Yeah. So is that? Yeah. So wow, Ancient of Days.
It is very different, though. I remember the first time I opened the church door to go in, my first appointment, and I looked very young. I was young, and somebody said to me, "Well, are you the preacher's son?" And I said, "Well, I am a preacher's son, but I am your preacher." It's a true story. The elder to the elect lady. The writer isn't writing to a lady. The lady is the church. The feminine is often used to describe the church, like the bride.
Shoot, I was going to start calling my wife the elect lady.
Also, discovered that in the Greek, lady is a female translation for Lord with the small L.
Oh, really?
But that's neither here nor there in this. But the lady is the church and her children. Well, John addresses the people of the church as children all the time.
So it's similar, like in kind of patristic or like church fathers and mothers would refer to God as Father and the church as our mother.
Yes.
So it's the same sort of feeling. The elect lady, the chosen lady, Mother Church.
Right.
So.
And in the Catholic tradition, that you often hear a church referred to as lady.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon. And the Episcopal Church as well. And the Orthodox Church. So it's not an uncommon phrase, still in some traditions.
Yeah.
To the elder to the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not only I, but all who know the truth, because of the truth that abides in us and will be with us forever. First, I want to say, this is a common way, the salutation, to introduce yourself first. And maybe on the out part of the letter, the name was there, but you say, I'm the elder speaking.
Yeah. He doesn't even have to say his name.
You don't wait until the final greeting. He doesn't have to say
He's
his
like,
name.
I'm the elder.
Right.
What's up?
He's the dude in charge. Right. That's exactly it. To love and the truth. And he'll repeat that quite often because the truth is doctrine is what they're struggling with here. Truth and then love is the other key word. I thought it was good, though, that the salutation includes the word mercy. Grace, mercy, and peace. And I hope when people read that word mercy, maybe they can soften some of the blow that we read in this letter. I don't think he's being judgmental. He wants mercy. He just is looking for the church to find its way in its belief. I was overjoyed to find some of your children walking in the truth, just as we have been commanded by the Father. He is happy that they have this truth. Really the truth that they're gathered around is once again the truth of the incarnation. Incarnation is a fancy word of saying that Jesus became flesh.
Meaty. Jesus became meaty.
Jesus became meaty. That's right. Jesus could get a sunburn.
Right.
Right. Okay. But flesh is also human.
Right.
I mean, not just skin, but became human.
Well, carne is meat. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Oh, that's very good. That's true. You make these jokes and you throw me, but that's okay because I've been around this a while. I can get back on track here. Right.
Well, I mean, it is true and it's significant, right? Is because especially what we're going to get in here.
Right. The Gnostic.
The feeling of substantialness.
Right, and the Gnostic thinking was that, which was common then, was that the Spirit, well, there were different strains, but the main idea was that the Spirit came down upon Jesus at the baptism. That's when he became this person, like the Christ came into Jesus, and then it disappeared at the cross.
Yeah.
And that really is not a periphery view. That's really a substantial thing because it means that if that happened, then God didn't really suffer with us. God wasn't one with us. And this writer of John is just not willing to depart from that. Jesus needed to be fully human in order to have that salvific effect on the world, to have that path for us that God didn't abandon, but remained steady. And so he's overjoyed to hear that. Now, dear lady, I ask you, not as though I were writing to you a new commandment, but one that we have from the beginning. Let us love one another. And those are the two themes. You've got truth. What is that truth? That Jesus was human, but also divine, fully human, fully divine. And also that we love one another.
Yeah.
Can you read from John, 1 John 3:23? Because I think really that's what he's drawing from.
There we go.
And love one another.
And this is the commandment that we should believe in the name of the Son, Jesus Christ, love one another just as he commanded us.
Right. And it's hard for God to command us to love one another as he has loved us if in the end he didn't remain in the present with the suffering of humanity. So those two are very tied together, and they belong together. We were brought into the family of God in this way. The revelation of God in Christ Jesus takes place. It takes place, the revelation in this truth that he was flesh, died with us, and this love, truth and love, coming together, and that's important. I thought it was interesting that this word here, walk, is also in some translations translated as live. So I was overjoyed to find some of your children living in the truth, or I was overjoyed to find some of your children walking in the truth, living and walking. So it's really, like you said, it's to be fully employed in this belief. So all to say, it's not so much believing in a belief in a doctrine as believing in this expression of love that God gave us.
That's good.
Yeah. Many deceivers have gone into the world, those who do not confess that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh. So that's real important. Any such person is a deceiver and the Antichrist. And we talked about what those words meant.
Yes. So
we really heighten our anxiety when we hear the word Antichrist.
Right.
But
it's someone in place of Christ, or something in place of the Christ.
This other thought, this other Gnostic thought that
it's not
that God would not actually suffer for a world.
It's not a bad movie starring Kirk Cameron.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that is the crux of the matter, that God would actually suffer for a world. And it was very difficult for them to grasp. We've heard that all our lives, but this is a new concept. This idea that of God would personally, individually love and die for someone, that's all new. That really isn't Old Testament either. That's a new doctrine.
Yeah.
It's a new thought. Be on your guard so that you do not lose what we have worked for, but may receive a full reward. The hospitality thing can really throw you, but I think the key phrase here is that we do not lose what we have worked for, which is the faith. What he's referring to here is the church, like the Apostle Paul, was really developed by traveling preachers, by traveling speakers. They are itinerant, like early Methodism. And, I'm itinerant. We go from one place to the next. And so what he's referring to is, don't welcome with hospitality someone who speaks in this way to the church, because this founder of the church, this person is thinking the whole thing's going to get thrown off. All that we've worked for is going to be tossed to the side. Let's say central in the focus that God really does love the world and didn't abandon us, but that suffered for us and was on the cross. I think that's particularly important, that thought, in this time frame when this is written, because you're probably going into the 2nd century, the Roman Empire, which is a terrible time of persecution for the church. And what does happen if we believe that we've been abandoned? So put it in that historical context. And
no, that's helpful. That's helpful, because otherwise, it looks like, what are the limits of hospitality? But if it's welcoming somebody as a teacher, that is a
right.
That is a different thing.
Right. So that's what he says. Do not receive into the house or welcome anyone who comes to you and does not bring this teaching of a suffering God and a resurrected God. Right. For to welcome is to participate in the evil deeds of such a person. I tend to be Orthodox, and probably more Orthodox than most Methodists on the West Coast. And maybe that's just from my being in the Southeast for so long.
Yeah.
I'm very socially very progressive. But I do believe that for a church to gather, we have to hold to some basic tenets. Otherwise, there's no form for us. And I think that's what the writer, in a sense, is doing here. And what are those basic tenets? And one for him, and I think I would agree here, is that Jesus was fully human, fully divine, in some mysterious way, and that God would be willing to suffer for a world.
Well, so let me just frame this as in the way of a question. I think that we're getting at it, but
okay.
So the two themes here, aletheia and agape,
right.
Truth and love,
right.
That they are interlinked in the elder, in John's thinking here. But what is it about the truth that he's describing that makes love so important, or why do
Because that's a good question, because that truth is an expression of that love.
Okay.
Without that truth that Christ would remain on the cross, that the divine would be there in suffering for the world. The writer, church thought is that then where is God in our suffering? Moltmann, I think, really points this out well. Moltmann, for our guest, was a theologian who...
Is he still alive?
No, he's died, but he was post-World War II, lived through World War II, was a pastor, and thought, okay, where is God? I mean, where is God on the cross? And it's kind of like Elie Wiesel, who's Jewish. Well, he's right there in the suffering child.
Yeah.
And you lose that.
One of his most important works is The Crucified God, right?
Right,
So
and that's what I'm referring to here.
Yeah.
So his love is present in that. And if you take out the whole the fleshness of God, in that God became flesh, you kind of you lose that. So it's a big step in faith.
Yeah,
it's mystery. I think it's worth arguing over, whereas some stuff in the church is totally not worth arguing over. But that's central to our thought.
All right. Well, that was very good, and I hope that you are all doing well out there, elect lady.
So to the elect lady, we're signing off.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.